It was lovely to have a new member to our crew as we made our way to the Aral Sea, the Sea of Islands.
Tarmac!
Ecstatic to no longer be riding over potholes and sand, we took the opportunity to swap bikes for a bit, said hello to some more locals, and I was starting to get used to the very basic toilets. That night we stayed at a somewhat flashy motel in the middle of nowhere and hit the road after ordering 18 fried eggs by accident for breakfast. We continued to meet more friendly locals every time we stopped for a break, and John and I were loving spending so much time with Max.
Merry Christmas!
Jingle bells.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way.
Oh, what fun it is to run one horse open sleigh. Hey!
Hey, jingle
Weindelmangel! How do you say Christmas in German?
Weihnachten.
Weihnachten!
Frohe Weihnachten. Yeah, take cake.
Oh.
We've all gone mad.
Celebration. One, two, three, action! Oh my goodness! Oh yeah! Okay, the camera is on.
Having enjoyed our slow ride through the Kazakhstan wilderness, we eventually arrived at the small town of Aralsk, formerly a fishing port and harbour city on the banks of the Aral Sea. We checked in at a hotel where we met the owner and her adorable little girl, an adventurer in the making. We then popped out for dinner at the local cafe, where we witnessed a chicken running loose out of the kitchen and watched the owner as she frantically chased it around the cafe before taking it back out of sight. Our food was served half an hour later, and we didn't see the chicken after that. It was delicious though. The next morning, after checking over some maps, we plotted a route from Aralsk to Zhalanash, hoping there would be a chance of seeing the last bit of water left in the Aral Sea.
Stay safe. Stay safe.
Aral'dan.
Yani.
Yeah. Aral'a bak bilet ya.
Yeah. I go mix. For me, it's so hot. Yeah, man. Nice to meet you. Yeah, good man. We were going to be riding all together to the Aral Sea, and I've decided to turn back because the road is like a washboard, and on Budley everything's shaking, and I'm a bit like, I don't know, it's a long way to get there still, and it'll take a long time on these roads. But I did really want to see the Aral Sea, and I was going to make a video like this when we got there to just talk about it and just say, how it was like one of the biggest ecological disasters of the last century, and it was like the Russians, the Soviets, they drained the sea. Well, they didn't want to drain the sea, but they channeled it out to irrigate land, and then ended up just draining it, and it's now reduced massively in size since the 1970s. And so one of the last bits is up here, and then there's some more bloody miles out that way, and then into Uzbekistan as well. We're staying in Aral, which is down over this way, and here it's got monuments showing ships and anchors and lighthouses and stuff. So it was obviously like a massive industry. Fishing was here for the people back then in the 70s, 50 years ago, and now that's all gone because the water's gone. So it's sad for them. And then when we spoke to some people about the road going out there and what's it like and everything, there was quite a few people that have never even been out there, because there is no industry left, and there's no what's the need to go there, I guess. It's just a salty lake, yeah. But I made a friend, so maybe I'll carry him back to Aral, and we can hang out instead, because I think the guy's going to be out for quite a few hours now.
"40 miles later, Max and I finished our ride through the barren, dried out landscape and arrived in the town of Zhalanash. There certainly wasn't a shortage of horses out here, and as we rode towards some settlements, we bumped into a little boy who led us to his family shop. We bought some fizzy drinks to top up our sugar levels and had a quick wash to remove some of the dust from our faces. We then met the boy's older sister, and along with their father, they agreed to drive us to the Aral Sea.
Good man.
How many people could say they've been here, hey? So many.
Maybe we are the last to the water.
It may just look like a lake, but the emotion I felt as we walked closer to the water was overwhelming. Spending time in Kazakhstan had made me think more about the things we take for granted. It's easy for us to put a tap on, but out here, water is sparse, and learning about how this ecological disaster had affected so many people was devastating. Feeling the water between my toes, I hoped that in the future, things would be restored to how they once were. It was heartwarming seeing our new friends smile and laugh with us, despite living worlds apart. And as all good things have to come to an end, we hopped back in the truck to head back.
Oh my god, my car.
Aral Sea.
But our journey back came to a sudden stop when Max's bike ran out of fuel. Max spotted a man in the distance and hoped that he could help. I felt like I was watching a country and western film as Max wandered in amongst all the livestock in hunt of some petrol, and not long later returned on the back of a motorbike with exactly what he needed. On arrival back at the guest house, we were concerned when we were met by a couple of police officers, but soon realised all they wanted to do was sign my bike. "You can stop worrying now, Max." We left Aralsk the next day to continue our journey towards Kyrgyzstan, which should have been smooth sailing from here. That was until...
So you heard a bang?
Not a bang. It wasn't like a bang out the exhaust or bang from the engine. It was more like a thud.